I've been playing for as long as I can remember. It was probably around 4 or 5 when I started taking piano lessons with my neighbor, Mrs. Kwan. She was my very first piano teacher, and I know that my parents were very excited to get us to playing piano. I am so lucky to have come from a musical family. Growing up, we had a family group called Chocolate, Vanilla, and the Caramel Kids because my mom was tall and white and my dad's short and black. So we came all out in the middle. We traveled, we sang in churches. We still sing in churches, actually. We just started working on our next album, Noel North. So hopefully we'll be able to release that around Christmas time. And so it's a family album that everybody's singing and playing all original songs again. So I'm very looking forward to that one as well. My parents have always written a lot of music, and I just, I like to write stories. So every time I sit down and try to write a story, it usually comes out like a melody and like a song. So there's nothing I can do to stop the music from coming out. So whenever I'm reading the newspaper or see something that makes me feel a strong emotion, I usually end up getting a song out of it. So that's where I get it. And so I just kept writing songs, and suddenly I had a whole album that made sense. And so yeah, the newspaper and walking around pool decks as a lifeguard. Lots of songs were written while I was lifeguarding. Pathfinder started actually back in 2005. I Am Me was the first song. Again, I was trying to write a story that I'm still working on. Many years later, I haven't finished my story, but that's where this song came from. It was about being empowering as a girl, trying to be proud of who you are, so that's where it came from. The second song I actually wrote was Amore, which is funny because it was about a guy who I never really knew. He was just somebody I saw in university, such a charismatic guy. He was just nice and sweet and romantic to everybody all the time. And so I was never very close to him, but he really inspired the song Amore. So 2005, 2006 is when I started writing a lot. And then going forwards, in 2011 is when I wrote the bulk of the CD, because I was working with a band at the time, and I was just really motivated to write. I wrote probably around 50 songs at the time, some completed, some not, some that I loved, some that I didn't. But it was such an experience for how to write music, because every idea that popped into your head turned into a song. So most of it came in 2011, and that's also the year I started working with Paula Griffith, my vocal teacher, who really helped me to develop how to use all the muscles in your vocal cords and your voice and your mouth, because it just like weightlifting, you have to understand how to work out a muscle, and singing is the same thing. So all of that time really helped me to develop as a singer. I do write my own material. Sitting down reading the newspaper is where I get a lot of my inspiration. That's where I got the inspiration for Lost Girls. It was around the time, and it still is, anti-bullying campaigns are very prevalent, and so it's really frustrating to hear about all the kids who suffer from bullying, whether in school or cyberbullying. And so reading articles in the paper about bullying really led me to write Lost Girls. And then I was so inspired by the fact that I got all this motivation from newspapers that I just, the more I read, the more I was inspired and kept writing that way. Yeah, it's pretty surreal. Hearing about CBC's interest in it was mind-blowing. I had no idea that part of you doesn't really expect anyone's going to like your music. You just write it, you play it, and maybe somebody will like it, and your friends pat you on the back for it. But once I started to play it a little bit more for people, and getting the feedback that I got, I was really surprised that, I don't know, maybe it was better than I thought, and maybe it will be appealing to a wider audience. So it was really surreal. It's been an amazing experience. I want to say thank you to everybody who's here supporting me, everybody who supported me along the way, my parents especially. I could not have had the opportunity to do a CD without my parents' full support. They've always pushed me to do the best I can, to do everything that I can. So again, big thank you to my parents. Thank you to all my friends who happened to be around when I was playing my songs and have listened to me throughout the years, liked my posts on Facebook or taped me in the bones and skeletons of the songs. So thanks to all the friends who were just there when I said, I have an idea, I need to tape it right now. So that's been an amazing experience. I hope everybody really enjoys it.
I will live for every moment.